Welcome to Clicks and Coffee. I'm Alexander, and here we dive deep into the journeys of entrepreneurs and marketing innovators. Each episode, we uncover the challenges, triumphs, and unique strategies of our amazing guests, giving you valuable insights and inspiration. Our goal is to build a community of growth-oriented professionals ready to learn, collaborate, and thrive in the ever-evolving world of digital marketing. So whether you're here for the latest trends or looking for that next big idea, you've come to the right place. Let's get started. Joining us today is Aibek Yegemberdin, the co-founder of Superflex. If you're looking for a tool to build software super fast with your coding style and with image of Figma files with AI, Superflex will do just that. So stick around to learn more about Superflex as they started less than 4 months ago and are already making big waves. Aibek, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's an
Aibek,
honor.
so can you tell us a little bit about your career journey and how you got to where you are today?
Yeah, so my career journey has been primarily in startups. I originally wanted to be a civil engineer, so I was studying civil engineering at RIT. And when I had my first internship, I kind of realized that maybe that's not something that I want. And I also had this really cool idea where I wanted to build a startup. So I thought, why not try it out? I wasn't technical, but I somehow managed to get a team together. We built an app. We went through an accelerator program in my college, and we ended up going really well. We got more than 100,000 users. We got a nice app. We were trying different things. We raised some funding for it. So that was really, really well. We didn't know what we were doing. So we ended up, and we didn't find product market fit. So we ended up shutting it down eventually. But this was an amazing experience and it was a little addictive. So I knew that I wanted to build a startup in the future. So yeah, but I knew I needed to get more experience. So I worked primarily in product management. I worked for two companies. Yeah, and then yeah, I quit my job this March, and I started working full time. And yeah, we were working on an. I met my co-founder in January. We were working nights and weekends first, and then I committed to work full time, quit my job, and we were working on an HR tech idea. We worked on that for about 6 months. Eventually, we pivoted, and we pivoted to Superflex. We got more market pull in 2 weeks of launching Superflex than we did in 6 months with HR tech tool idea. So we knew that this was the right decision, and now we're here.
That's a pretty wild, pretty well start. And so can you tell us a little bit more about like how did you come up with that idea? Because, everybody's talking about AI, but AI, I feel like if you don't use it properly, it just becomes a gimmick. And so how did you come up with that idea? Like, how did you say, okay, we're gonna fix that because it's, takes too much time today, and that's a great use case for AI.
Yeah. And by the way, I agree. I think a lot of the AI right now is, let's just say, overhyped. The truth is it's gonna take some time until AI provides really strong value to everyone in all sectors. Um, but one of the first places where AI does provide great value is actually developer tools. There had been a study by Microsoft showing that 90% of developers have used AI tools for productivity, which speaks a lot of volume. And we see a lot of big rise in popularity in coding tools like Cursor, Replit. There's different tools that are going up, GitHub Copilot, that a lot of developers use. Pretty much everyone has heard of it. We built Superflex because we wanted to solve our own pain point. So we knew of different AI developer tools out there. And the truth is, when we were building our HR tech platform, we needed something to go faster. We literally had customers, potential customers who we like wanted to close a deal with, and they just needed more features. So like literally, the thing is like we needed to have a suite of features in order to close a lot of customers. And our biggest bottleneck was shipping features fast. So my co-founder, he's a very skilled, he's a wizard developer. He We were looking at like where does he spend all of his time, and we found that he spends almost half of his time in the front end dealing with really boilerplate code, dealing with UI components. So we're like, okay, can AI do this? Can AI solve this? My co-founder was like, no, it has to be very specific. It has to do all these like things. And I'm like, can we try it? So I ended up pushing him. We built, it was a Sunday, we built a small prototype in a day, and it worked really well. It was able to write code in his coding style using our UI components and using like an image that we gave as a context. So we're like, okay, let's talk to some developers, see if it's useful. We talked to about 40 developers initially, and then we found that about a third of them, their biggest pain points was writing front-end code and dealing with UI components. So we knew that we were onto something. So we just kept building, and eventually we pivoted.
That is too funny. It's like, okay, well, we have this great startup, and then
Yeah.
basically you came up with another startup idea in the middle of it. That's pretty
Yeah.
crazy. That's
And we
pretty
were
crazy.
generating,
Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, we were generating revenue with our previous startup. Like it's not like things weren't going well. We actually had customers, which made it even harder to pivot. We were kind of those like 2 weeks when we were thinking of pivoting. It was like I was really like stressing because I was afraid that we're making a wrong decision. But now I'm happy.
And so today, how many users do you have on Superflex?
Yeah, we have. I think this morning I checked. We have about 560 users.
That's pretty
So
crazy
yeah,
in a couple of months.
yeah. Well, this is with a new extension. We relaunched a week and a half ago. So this is only in less than 2 weeks.
Oh, wow. And what is that new extension bringing to the table more than the first version?
Yeah. So initially we were a GPT wrapper. So we didn't have much. It was, if you look under the hood, it would just be um, OpenAI's GPT-4o model, and it would do everything. It would try to take the context of your code base. It would try to take inputs from Figma, from images. It would do everything. And the problem with it was because you're giving so much context to the model in like not a nice and structured way, it would hallucinate. It would not always provide good results. So we spent like pretty much like right as we launched our that GPT wrapper, we started building our own custom solution. So we spent a lot of time building a custom RAG, building out code indexing, like building out everything to make it not hallucinate or hallucinate way less and provide much better results.
Okay, no, that's pretty cool. Makes a lot of sense. But you're still using OpenAI. You still
Yes.
OpenAI in the background, but now you're really making a more robust interface and I would kind of say middleware and front end. And are you using Superflex for yourself to create to create front end code for your own software?
Yes, we are. We use Superflex to build out almost every part of our extension of our site. So yeah, we have AI building AI.
That is pretty funny when you think about it. That's like you're using your tool to make your tool better.
Yes.
It's pretty crazy. And so really the main idea of Superflex allows you to not use, I would say, like templates and to really unleash your creativity or your ideas and really put them into code very quickly instead of just saying like, oh, let's just take this and copy and change the colors. And so that way you can have a real custom solution that perfectly fits the needs of your software design ideas, basically.
Yeah, that's true. Our vision is that soon, really soon, um, companies and teams will be able to take Figma files and turn them into production code with no effort at all. So they'll
Wow.
be able to do it with one click. And we really believe that. Like we're almost there. So we were able to take input from Figma, and the most important part is that we're writing code that's in your coding style, so that code is actually useful. The truth is, there are different tools. For example, like Figma has its own Figma dev mode that provides code for your UI components. But that code isn't that useful. So you can't just copy and paste it to your code base. It's not gonna work, and you can't simply fix it. It's gonna take a lot of time to refactor. So what we're doing is we're matching the Figma files and images and prompts to your code base, which is really hard, but we're doing it.
That's the whole point of launching a new venture. And
Yeah.
do you have already some feedback and some, I would say, like success, or you know some like a case study? I know it's been only a couple of
Mhm.
weeks, but did you have any like one or two cool projects that people came back and say like, hey, look at what we built. It's like freaking amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I was fascinated when I first tried it out. So I'm not a technical person. I'm, let's say, semi-technical. I was a product manager, so I know how code works, but I don't write code myself. But there was just this random cool idea I wanted to build out. I wanted to build a daily meme generator, something that will give you the hottest memes every day, because I was spending a lot of time on marketing actually, and I needed better memes. So yeah, I built it using Superflex, and I posted a video about it. I loved how it works, so that was my case study. But yeah, we had a few people who really gave us really good feedback and gave us a lot of praise on how well the code looks, how helpful this is. So
And that it
yeah,
matches, because the main thing when you have a code that matches your style is that you understand it better. And then if you need to fix it, it's probably
yeah,
going to be a lot easier to fix than like, not random code, but you see what I'm saying? Like a more boilerplate code where it's not how you like it, basically.
exactly. Yeah, like some companies right now, if they really need to build new features faster, they might hire like development companies. And I mean, nothing wrong with that. But the problem is, once you hire them, it's you don't know what that code looks like. So if you go, you know, if we just like compare giving us to supercharge your developers versus hiring out a team externally, like there's clear benefit that that code is going to be like matching your coding style.
And then the fact that you can generate it so quickly, you can iterate also
Mm-hmm.
much faster and then test it. And then if people don't like it, then you change the Figma file, recreate code, and then like, within a day you can try, or you can try even multiple versions of the UI with that.
Mm.
And in one day
Yeah.
you can create like three. And then, okay, guys, pick one. Which one is the best one, and do A/B testing, much faster as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
you mentioned you mentioned about the meme generator and that you do a lot of marketing, and
Mm-hmm.
Pentelope is a digital marketing agency, so we love to talk about marketing at all level, because even though we do
Mm-hmm.
performance marketing, marketing is not just one thing. It's how do you market your business, how do you get it out there, and so I'm curious to hear as a, startup founder. I'm sure everything every day is running like crazy, putting out fires. And then where do we get our customers? And you kind of have to do everything yourself. So how does a day in the life of Aibek looks like to get new clients, and what is your strategy for now, and what is your planned strategy, I would say, in the future?
Yeah. So the truth is that our strategy is going to change a lot. Right now, we're very early, so we're doing a lot of things that don't scale. For example, I've been attending a lot of events. There have been some weeks where I attended 10 events,
Oof.
which is amazing in the Bay Area. They're like you can go and you can pick and choose, and there's so many amazing AI events. So I've been doing a lot of that. I've been spending time making content. I've been posting on LinkedIn every single day, which, by the way, I recommend to everyone. If you want to grow, you have to post content. So that's been helpful. We're starting short form content as well. Um, something, some other like marketing parts that I do. So this is just marketing. There are a lot of other parts that take up my day, unfortunately. Um, yeah, a couple of new things we're exploring. We're exploring marketing through Reddit, through like developer communities. That's something that I've heard from other founders works really well in the developer tool space. So that's what we're going to do as well. And we're also going to go to colleges. I've previously launched a social networking app for college students, and I know that it's much easier to grow in colleges. Also, it's much cheaper. Like people will sign up for an app if you give them stickers or if you give them some swag. People will be like, okay, yeah, I'll sign up, or I'll spread the word. So yeah,
That's
those
that's
are some
that's
of
very
the
good,
things.
tactical marketing, and it's I didn't know, so I think that's great, that you found out that
Yeah.
college students are more prone to using things and trying things at a low acquisition cost.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Okay,
but
and
yeah,
and
those are
so
just my
yeah,
marketing things. Yeah.
and so you said you were posting on LinkedIn a lot, and that is really helping. Are you using AI to post on LinkedIn?
No, I'm not. I used to do that. Or at least I tried, but writing, I hate writing. I used to hate like writing things in general. But as a startup founder, I have to write all the time. So I think I kind of built that muscle, where now like I can just sit down and in 15 minutes, I'm gonna have like a nice LinkedIn post that I feel good about, that actually is authentic. Versus if I try to use AI for it, I feel like I'm not, um, yeah, it doesn't work as well. And also, it's kind of my way of journaling. Like, it's nice to actually write your own thoughts and then look back and you're like, oh, yeah, I remember this happened. So,
No, so okay, so it's a personal and professional project.
yes.
No, that's fun. That's fun to tell stories, and then to be able to and I agree. It feels nice when you know it's the person really taking the time to write it and sharing everything they are doing. And you were also talking about Reddit. So it's very
Mhm,
interesting because I feel that since Reddit is going public, the things have changed on Reddit, and I feel like Reddit is taking a
mhm,
much larger share of the internet and content on the
mhm.
internet. So it's pretty interesting. And so, did you start already working in Reddit, or is that something that you're going to do?
Not yet. I mean, we've been doing bare minimum, but we're actually gonna try out uh going going hard on it. Yeah. I have a good friend, Maddie Wang, and she's grown a lot of businesses using Reddit, and she's helped me. She consulted me and showed me like how I can grow Superflex using Reddit as well. So we're gonna try that.
No, it makes a lot of sense. And I know that there are some big subreddit. You have Y Combinator subreddit, and then I'm
Mhm.
sure you have like some Figma subreddit, and then tons of other subreddit very dedicated to exactly what you're doing. And I'm sure that everybody's complaining in those in those subreddit.
Yeah.
You're gonna come like almost like the messiah of like, hey guys, how about I
Hmm.
10x your productivity? But that's the dream for a lot of people. So that's super exciting. So for you right now, the main things that are working is going to be very tactical and very targeted, and very targeted marketing style. And then those events. So you were saying that you do a lot of in person. And
Hmm.
then how exactly do you go about marketing your business? Is that events you're speaking at, or is it just events to meet people?
Yeah, I do both. I'm very fortunate to be in the Bay Area where there's so many events, and I've made friends that have invited me to speak at some events, share more about Superflex. But some events I just attend and I just want to see what's going on. I want to see what are some latest advancements in AI. Um, yeah, so sometimes I just attend events, meet some people, and I always try to be authentic because that's what I found. That's what I like, first of all, and that's actually ends up working much better. So, like, I'm not just out there trying to sell to everyone. Like, I'm actually going out there and trying to meet people and trying to
Mm.
actually build connections.
And
And then yeah, that always ends up working better for me.
yeah, no, no, it totally makes sense. And then maybe that's going to be future collaborations as well. And insights like your friend that told you go on Reddit and then, market on Reddit because that's how I grew. And then I think I was reading, actually, the funny thing is because I have the Y Combinator subreddit, and I saw some people
Yeah.
really did that. They grew their
Mhm.
business, or they were saying like, yeah, I'm doing on Reddit and it's working amazing. So we're also doing for some clients, also some Reddit content strategies, and we're seeing, interesting results that I think even last year you wouldn't have those results that we're getting this year. So it's pretty
Yeah.
pretty interesting, and maybe we'll see soon something with, how to leverage Reddit with AI. That's another that's another story. All right, cool.
Yeah.
So then, no, it's really exciting. And so, what is the plan for Superflex? I would say for the rest of the year, are you guys planning on coming up with new version or upgrades? Upgrades. Is there any new feature you're planning on adding, or is there anything you can? I know it's very early, but it seems like you
Hmm.
have a pretty good vision of what you guys want to achieve in the near future. So I'm really interested in hearing what's in store, what's coming.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, we have a roadmap. So I mean, we're not super strict and sticking to it. But we did write out a roadmap so I can actually find it out. My co-founder is great when it comes to planning things. So yeah, I mean, as of right now, so I'll just say from what I remember. We are adding some security features. So one really cool thing that we found is we are able to index your code base without actually having or storing or having your code pass through our servers ever.
Oh,
And
wow. Yep.
that's a huge thing, especially like we spoke to a lot of businesses and some businesses who need, or let's say they work with federal contractors or businesses who have higher security standards. They need that. So yeah, that's something that we're looking into implementing, and that's going to be a big unlock for us to go and sell to more companies.
Yeah,
That is one.
remember
Mhm.
when Amazon sent a letter to
Yeah,
all of the engineers, please stop using OpenAI for our own code. And they were like, it's
yeah.
true because everything that everything in all of those AI system, they need to get see the data in order to be able to output something. So it was pretty funny to see that, Amazon was like complaining at it and everybody was loving it. And I think they came up with their own
Hmm.
coding assistant.
Yeah. Well, that's the truth is there's no way to stop that. Like there's no way to stop developers from using coding assistants. The difference in value is just in productivity and output is just so big that anyone not using AI tools will will be like 20% of productivity than engineers using AI tools. So that is going to be so huge where I don't think that there's going to be a lot of developers not using AI for coding soon. So yeah, that's my huge bet, huge prediction, just because I see how powerful AI can be for development. I don't think that a lot of there's going to be really strong reasons not to use it, unless of course companies so secure or that they need to like not use any AI tools.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, that's pretty
yeah.
exciting. That's pretty exciting. And then, yeah, you were about to say something, but I cut you off. So want to hear
Oh
the
yeah, no,
story.
I'm just looking for a few more things. Like I'm looking for a roadmap, and I just remembered um, we're gonna release our API as well. That's another big request that we've gotten from businesses. Is they're like, this is great, but we want to customize it even more. Build our own tools using like on top of Superflex, so we can provide an API with everything coming out of box. That's going to be a big unlock. And we're focusing a lot on improving our product and improving our generation because that's the core of what we are. So we're doing a lot of work right now to like my co-founder is coming up with new things every day. He's like, I read this research. I think we can use this. Like we let's try this out. We're always getting feedback. Recently we got feedback from some founders that we are better than in front end generation than one of our big competitors, Cursor. So that is a huge thing for us because we know that a lot of people are using Cursor. So if we're better than them in the front end, that's a huge even though like for us we understand why, like that makes sense, we use the same foundational models, but it's very powerful in marketing. So
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, but we're gonna do a lot of that thing. We're gonna go through Antler Accelerator. It actually just started today, so we're gonna go through that. Um, yeah, there's a lot of things, a lot
Yeah,
of
no,
things
no, I
happening.
see. No, it's truly fascinating, and I'm really excited for you. Really excited for you, and really excited for also the results, because a lot of time, people get stuck on a lot of things, and having a tool such as Superflex really allows you to do what you want. And that's what's cool about AI, is to enable people to put thoughts into
Mhm.
tangible, tangible, at least digital things in that case, but really truly what you care about. So that's pretty cool. Um, all
Yeah.
right. And so I have one last question that I love to ask that could be an entire other podcast, but we're gonna have to limit ourselves. So
Mhm.
and for you, I'm gonna tweak it a little bit, but what are you excited about in the world? So the question is, what are you excited in the world of digital marketing, and what are you worried about? And I could make it in like, what are
Mhm.
you excited about right now, and what are you worried about right
Mhm.
now?
Yeah. So one thing I do see that like one shift I see that's happening is that I'm really excited about is people's buying decisions um turn towards more authentic, more like real marketing. You can even see that now if you look at like any Instagram page of any company, you look at what the stuff they posted like 5 years ago versus now, it's much different. Like you see a lot more people, you see a lot more authentic conversations. So that part I'm really excited about. And people are also people are betting people are better at smelling bullshit. So like if you're not authentic, you're gonna have a hard time selling. That's like a one thing that's I think is right, and I'm really excited for it. Brands need to be authentic. People love transparency. We're moving towards being really open. We open source our tool, so there's um
And when you
a
say
lot.
more authentic, it's like not using not using influencers, for example, and using their own their own people. Or
I
how do
would
you, what do you mean
say,
by more authentic?
yeah, I would say just being more open and transparent about things. Like, um,
The
yeah,
where it's
like,
coming from, how, where do we work, what ingredients are in the food and things like that.
yeah, that's one thing. Another thing is like, for example, with my content, I'm sharing our positive things and our negative things. Like, I'm also sharing things that like we messed up at, or like we're more open about, things times when we messed up, and people like that, like because people can relate to it, and people end up actually having more like people
Respect.
trust you more. Yeah, more respect. Versus when a company, when they're super close, you know they act like a corporation, not like people. Humans buy from humans, not from companies, so you have to be a human to to sell.
But it's funny,
um
I spoke to somebody also working in AI on an extension, so to help Slack. So it's an extension, so it's an AI tool for Slack
mhm,
that allows you to answer questions in Slack automatically. So basically
mhm,
it searches through all of the channels, and when you ask a question, it helps
mhm,
answer that question. So for example, if you start having a sales team, you don't have to answer the
mhm.
same question over and over, but question based. Yes, but what you were saying is that we're going to get to a point where, a lot of everything is going to be AI, and that
Yeah,
we're going to get to a point where people are getting sick and tired, and we're going to start seeing still AI is going to be used for a lot of things, but then people are going to look for, as you say, authentic. So for like human interaction guarantee, something like
yeah.
that, which is like
Mhm,
so ahead of the, like, well, right now we're just talking about how AI is changing a lot and
mhm,
replacing a lot. And then she's already thinking that like within and she said like couple of years, not 10 years, like couple of years, that people are going to
mhm.
start looking for a human interaction guarantee. So kind of authenticity with the interaction between business and their clients or customers.
Yeah, no, you nailed it. I think it's completely right. And I think those two are kind of related. Like that's also a thing that I'm a little bit concerned about. I'm not too worried about it. I feel like we as humans, we might be better at cutting out noise in the future. Um, but yeah, like now you see some channels that are like working less or not as good as they used to work before. Like one is email campaigns. We tried them, and we tried integrating AI into it to like personalize emails. But we didn't see as much results as someone could have seen like 5 years ago. So because it's easier now to do this, more people are doing it. But if you see something more real, more authentic, like someone sent you a text or someone sent you like an actual personalized email, you're more likely to answer it. So yeah,
I agree.
we'll see how it goes. But I definitely think like real humans, real authenticity is going to be
The
the
big
the
thing.
key in the future.
And so what are you worried about? What's worrying you right now?
Hmm. I don't know. I think one thing, this is unrelated to marketing. One thing I am worried about is just humans not consuming too much like content, too much information. Like maybe I'm more of like that type of person where I love escaping everything and going to nature like at least once a week. Um and I put blockers on a lot, even though I do a lot of marketing on social media, I put blockers on all of my like social media apps. But yeah, I just see that that's like I hope that people will be able to, that all of this all of these things get more and more smarter. Like AI is getting smarter, and AI is used in a lot of good ways, but also in not the best ways. And I think that like social media is not really the like it's helpful. It's a really great tool, but sometimes it can also backfire. So that's
Hmm.
something I'm a little bit worried about, where I see a
It's
lot
like
of
a
people
how to
yeah,
help people to lift their heads,
exactly. Yes.
look
Yeah. Like
around.
whenever I see like 5-year-olds with their iPads for like 10 hours a day, I'm like, oh my God, like
Yeah, it's not good.
what is going on in their brain? Like, how are they gonna grow up? So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. No, no, I agree. I agree with you. Well, Aibek, it was super exciting. I truly wish you all the best with Superflex. I'm excited to maybe have you back on the podcast when you get your millionth user, which, you know,
Hopefully.
probably will happen in the next 6 months, right?
We'll see. Yeah.
And no, 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 it's really exciting. It's really exciting that you're gonna allow people to customize everything. So it's gonna be a little bit more exciting. I feel like the future of software with a solution like yours, where softwares, they're all gonna have their personality instead of looking a lot of the new functions. The new software they kind of all look the same. So it's good and
Mhm.
not good at the same time. But I'm excited for Superflex and I'll follow your progress. On LinkedIn then, because since you're really writing, I wanna read that.
Yeah. Thank you, Alex. This was a pleasure.